Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. This video is more of an update video, so let's jump right into it and let's go where we were last. This is the engine. The LS53 is currently in, and honestly, plenty of room for the most part. It's a lot better than I initially planned when it comes to fitting it in. There's still some touch-ups I have to do to kind of get everything going here. If you watch the shorts on my page, you'll see that I had some issues with fitment. So this is a 1980-81 Camaro Z28 cowl induction hood, or air induction hood, I guess you could say. And it has actuated flaps and all that good stuff. And it was hitting the hood as I went to close it, so I did a cutout, and that's how it looks. It was hitting right here on the throttle body, and I cut out enough to be able to expose the throttle body bracket for the cable and the throttle body itself. So that opening pretty much covers it here, allows it to close. Now, why did it hit? Well, depending on what motor mount you use and how high your engine is, right? So I have the Dirty Dingo motor mount, and as you can see, it's a little bit high, a little bit of an angle, and I couldn't close the hood. Now, I was originally going to go with an aftermarket 2-inch raised cowl induction hood, but honestly, I like the idea of this functional air induction hood setup with the factory hood look. I think it works out great. So the hood skip's not there. We're going to be putting it together here once I clean up some things. With the truck spacing, pretty much kept the alternator in the factory condition of how it would have came. Went with an LS1, LS3 style water pump with spacers so that it pushes it out to match this truck spacing. I have the Summit LS Swap headers, stock coils, and this is just personal. I had MSD coils on my Chevy SS Holden Commodore, and as good as those were, I think I replaced 1 or 2 over a span of 5 years. So ignition coils remain stock for me because prior to this, my other Camaros all had stock coils and all ran perfectly fine. The SS, I wanted to be, it was a theme of black and red, so it all worked out. The MSD coils worked good for what they were, but they did not hold a candle to factory power. And of course, when it comes to reliability, the factory just did a lot better. Piping, this is just for now, so it's not going to be forever, guys. Obviously, this 90-degree got my intake to where I needed it to be. Same thing with that coolant hose. Once I figure out a different solution, I will be swapping those out into better aesthetically looking pieces as well as performing pieces. Here, got where I needed to go. Just a quick, straight 4-inch and generic Amazon filter. Again, it works. Should have been one of those things where you make a decision as you go and, buy once, cry once, right? But it is what it is at this point. So we're going to go with a different elbow. I am probably going to go with a 45-degree, drop it right into that little cavity there. But the reason why I haven't done it yet is I recently just found out that there are carbon fiber intake tubes. I'm not too privy and fancy on parts and types and all stuff, so I found out there's like a universal kit that you can get. So I'm going to be sourcing out the universal kit and building it out. So I would like to get a different bend, maybe a slightly smaller shoulder 90, and then go with the carbon fiber intake tube, most likely the same 45 to be able to get me right down in there, and a decent filter. Not sure who has a good filter brand. I mean, everybody does K&N, everybody does AEM. Might just stick with one of those, but I feel like it would be super cool to have that carbon fiber look and the carbon fiber reliability as well as toughness. Speaking of, guys, the Optimas, you gotta get them. I mean, I think they're great. Mine is a double post, so you have side and top. So in the future, when I start running more accessories to this car, I won't have to worry about fitting on post. I'll have the extra post to do so to run other auxiliaries and accessories. Another thing I would like to do and kind of clean up is right now I do have F-body, 4th gen F-body radiator fans, cooling fans. They are going over the stock, the factory radiator, which is why the hose is the way it is. If I had a swap radiator, I would have the fittings for the hose be essentially on the same side and a shoulder connecting point to get that radiator hose and coolant hose in a better position. You can see here, the water pump is new, so however many miles and hours I have on it is all it has right now, but everything else is pretty much factory. Again, this is a low budget project, very quick, easy swap, nothing crazy about it. Got it to do its job. Starts, fires right up, drive just fine. I was able to go around the neighborhood, get it moving under its own power, and it worked. Now, if you followed me in the last video, here it is. The Pro car seats are in. Still cleaning up a little bit there. As you can see, the Holly Terminator is sitting on the ground. That box is probably going to be stuffed into the glove compartment. But just wanted to show you guys. I got it fitted in, taken care of. And if you're familiar with 2nd gen F bodies, that's got to be reupholstered, of course. But those seats are from a Firebird. I was able to pick them up for a decent price. These seat belts are actually from a 4th gen Camaro. So if you need to make something fit, there's an option for you there. So next up, once I get everything cleaned up, door panels, dash, instrument cluster, steering, all that while doing the wiring. And I'm going to probably go with a new shifter, to be honest. At the same time, I do like the factory look, so we might keep that. But this is a, resto mod, right? Going with the Pro Touring theme. We're going to make some adjustments. I have some considerations for the spoiler. I like the spoiler. I do like also the one piece that the early 2nd gen comes with. So had this been the right body lines, I would have probably gone that route. I haven't seen a one piece for the late 2nd gen, and I have not seen anything in person at least. And everything online does not look that great. So pretty much stuck at this point unless you go custom, but there really isn't much option left. Possibly do the 3-piece and then just mold it and kind of go from there, right? Really not much else I can do at this point. Don't have options for wheels yet. The factory wheels are the factory wheels. So I'm thinking something in the 18 range. It's probably where I'm going to go. But until then, I don't really have a idea of what I'm going to run for wheels. But yeah, this is the vehicle with the swap essentially complete. I've only been putting out shorts, so there's no video of the swap itself being done. Just kind of, there's tons and tons of swap videos all over the place. Pretty sure, with YouTube, you guys have seen so many variations of it. But I figured I'd let you guys see what this came out to be. And one thing I did like is it fits nicely. Looks good in this car. More to come as the build continues to grow. I hope you guys, engage. Give me an idea of what to do next. Give me an idea of what I've done wrong currently. I think my next big tackle in this engine bay, and when I say tackle, I really mean it, is air conditioner. Got to figure out where to mount it. There was conversations I had with myself. It's probably going to go down there, obviously, but I got to figure out how. If not, then the bracket's going to sit up here. and sit out right in this area here for that compressor, and it should work. There's not a whole lot of room. Once I go air conditioning, looks like there would be no room for any power adder besides a LSA or something, right? But turbos are a little tight for this car. Could always do a rear exit, but LSA might be the option instead here, or a Maggie, maybe even a Pro Charger, depending on how I can route things on this side. But for the most part, the next big project I think on this car will be getting the air conditioner put in place so that these 100+ degree days we could still cruise, we could still drive, we could still enjoy the vehicle. And then I think once I take care of the mechanicals, the drivetrain, what else is really left, right? It's the body. I've always had a game plan in mind, and I think I might be a little crazy, but I think where we're at, I want to do a unique build of some sort, right? Just like everybody else, you want to stand out just enough. JDM style Liberty Walk. You know, a lot of people doing Rocket Bunny in the JDM crowd. It's gone to the European, and what really made me kind of draw into that crowd was Liberty Walk released a 3rd gen Liberty Walk kit, and that thing looks absolutely amazing and wild. I want to do something similar with the 2nd gen, and since I haven't seen too many of that JDM-inspired style for the 2nd gen, I think I want to commit to that. If you guys haven't seen it yet, there is one that really intrigued me on how he built his vehicle, and the guy's feature is I think Hardcore Tokyo, and it's a 2nd gen Trans Am in Japan, and the guy just built it absolutely bonkers. Go check that video out and go see how that build is. And again, it's just the guy's in Japan with an American muscle car and building it to what they typically consider their unique style, and I want to do the same thing essentially for this car. So mechanically, I want to get this thing to be just reliable driver, nothing crazy, no thousands of horsepower, nothing like that. If I can get, which is pretty easy to do with these LS engines, 600, you know, I'm good. And we're talking about crank, so like 450, 500 is more than enough. And instead of budgeting for, you know, big cam, big heads, big block, but I'm just gonna do cam, port I have 243s right now, so port the head and then power adder. Like I said, most likely I'll do an LSA of some sort, or if I could afford it in a correct sense of work, I'm gonna put a turbo in here somehow. But I don't think I can afford the workspace to fit a turbo with AC and all that good stuff here. So that's just my opinion. You guys obviously can prove me wrong very easily. But for now, I'm happy with where it is. I'm going to work with the AC bracket, get the air conditioner going. We're going to be driving this around for a little while I envision my game plan, figure out how we can do a uniquely inspired body when it comes to a 2nd gen JDM Euro base, you know, that, like I said, that Liberty Walk, maybe in Rocket Bunny style, or something crazy like the DTM style that the Europeans offer. So stay tuned, follow me on this journey, and let's see what we can get. Take care, guys. See you next time.